Wa alaikum salam. Allahyari sahab, how are you? This is Jafar calling from Australia. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. May Allah bless you. Go ahead, please.
I had a couple of questions just with regards to today's topic. We have a hadith in many Ghaiba books that the matter for which you're waiting for will not occur until a time you get fed up with each other, till you don't curse each other, till you don't spit on each other's face, and call each other disbelievers. So the narrator pretty much asked the Imam, there is nothing positive about this. But the Imam said there is positivity in it because time, Ajalullah Ta'ala Farajahu, will return. So my question was, these people who spit on each other, call each other Kafir, would these be bad people among us who are not real believers, real followers
so when
of
two
Islam? Or it
when two people call each other
really
Kafir,
wants to prove their point, they believe they are right, and they want to prove that no, you're doing the wrong thing.
So the answer to your question, whenever
calling each other bad in these times,
okay, now listen, please. Whenever you call another person Kafir, whether the other person calls you Kafir or not, the other person, if he's Kafir, then indeed you're truthful, he's Kafir. That's it. But if he's not Kafir, then you are Kafir, that Kafir comes to you. So if two people are calling each other Kafir, it has to be either they both are Kafir or one party is Kafir, the other party is not Kafir. So you have to see. But just by itself, it's not a bad thing. It's not an evil thing. It does not mean they're both bad people. You have to examine, are there merits of kufr in one of them or both of them? If both parties are deviants, they're both parties of people of blasphemy and heresy and are astray from path of guidance, and they're doing takfir of each other, so they're both kafir. But if one party is right, the other party is wrong, then that party which is right, even if it's calling the other party kafir. Okay? Just doing takfir by itself is not a criteria of being wrong. No, Allah has done takfir. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has done takfir. And it is the obligation of a sincere and committed alim to Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to do takfir of Ahlul Bid'ah so people do not follow them. That's an obligation. A committed alim who has duty before Allah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam, he cannot be lenient and he cannot be ambiguous and he cannot be equivocating. Whether he is facing kufr and we is facing a blasphemy and heresy amongst the Shias. So just by itself that the two parties are doing takfir of each other, you cannot deduce anything. You have to look. Allah has given you aql. Allah has given you common sense that you should listen who is telling the truth. Okay? That you can determine, because if you cannot tell who is telling the truth, then you have no obligation in that regard. But a lot of times you can tell who is telling the truth. Whoever is speaking in accord and in agreement with the sayings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, he's right. And whoever is not, whose position is against it or deviant from the position of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, he's wrong. Okay?
Is there a classification in the bid'ah? Like, when you call something a bid'ah, obviously there is a hadith in Sababul Amal and Iqabul Amal of Shaykh Sudu that Allah may forgive a bid'ati, may forgive. It's up to him, but he would never forgive a bid'ati who is a Jabari. So I try to understand. I try to understand.
So these sort of hadith do not. A lot of time they have figurative meanings. They do not have literal meanings. Okay, so it means that a lot of times you have to understand these. They do not mean Allah forgives bid'ati. Allah means that the Jabri is kafir. He will never be forgiven. That's what it means. Okay, so it does not mean that a bid'ati could be forgiven. Also, bid'ah depends. Bid'ah is intentional or bid'ah is not intentional, deliberate. So a lot of people, Shia, they follow taqleed, right? They don't know it's bid'ah. They have an excuse before Allah. They have an excuse which could be very, very valid excuse because they didn't know better. So all of these things have to be taken into account. Okay?
Yeah. Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, sure, please.
I have texted you I have texted you a hadith on your WhatsApp number. If you're able to see it, or else I can read it in English. It's from Tuhaful Uqul. And in your last lecture, you mentioned it. It's a very, very good book as well. You know, it's a hadith from Imam Askari alayhi salam. Usually the ahadith, they don't have a date or a year mentioned in them, but this particular one had a year 260 Hijri. Imam Askari alayhi salam said to his adherents, we have previously ordered you to put the rings in your right hands when we were among you. Now, because you will no longer meet us, we order you to put your rings in your left hand until God makes your as well as our Amr prevalent. This is surely the best proof through which you can prove your being loyal to our wilaya. And then all the people who were there in that particular attendance, they all took their rings out from their right hands and they put their rings in their left hands. Then the Imam said, convey this Amr to all our Shia. But then today, if I really wear my ring in my left hand, people would be like, oh, why are you doing that?
No, there will not be. There will not be. So there are many ahadith. There are many ahadith with respect to which hand you should put your ring on. It's in Wasailu Shia. Either hand is fine, okay? There are plenty of ahadith which enunciate either hand is fine, okay?
But this hadith wouldn't suspend all the other ahadith because this is from our last Imam, 11th Imam.
So at any rate, what I can tell you, what I've seen is that either hand is fine. So that's the mashhur and repetitive hadith in this regard. To any hand, putting a ring on any hand is fine. Okay. Thank you so much. May Allah bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.